This is always one of my favorite segments of the week. I always feel so enlightened and informed after we hear Ask the Lawyer with Bruce L. Scheiner, attorney for the injured. Maybe today's the day your question gets answered. We're certainly about to find out. If you'd like to submit a question for future consideration, I'll tell you how to go about that in a moment as well. First, I need you to help me welcome Bruce L. Scheiner, attorney for the injured. Good morning, Bruce.
Hey, good morning, Todd. How you doing this morning?
Excellent. How about you?
Couldn't be better. Thanks for asking.
I knew that would be the answer. I really do feel excellent myself this morning, but I like to be in step with your attitude, which is always so positive. And thank you for that, by the way.
Hey, it's my pleasure.
And also thank you for week after week taking on these challenging questions and coming up with some answers that are based on your long experience in the business and your dedication to the community. Got another one for you today. You ready?
I am ready, Todd.
This is what the email says. My brother-in-law was a passenger in a friend's SUV when they were hit head-on by a car that crossed the line on Veterans Boulevard. The driver who hit them was intoxicated and uninsured. My brother-in-law is in the hospital with several fractures, and his friend only had basic coverage. Our family has uninsured motorist coverage on all our vehicles. Would that help even though he wasn't in our car? Can a lawyer assist? Uninsured motorist coverage, I'll say, Bruce, before you answer, I understand the concept from all the years we've been talking about that, but I don't understand the nuances, when it kicks in, when it doesn't apply. So what do you make of this?
Well, there's one key question that will resolve the problem.
Okay.
And the question is does the victim's family have stacking uninsured motorist coverage?
Oh, yeah.
Normally, uninsured motorist coverage would apply if you're involved in an accident with a car that's insured under the policy.
Mm-hmm.
However, if you have stacking uninsured motorist coverage, then you're covered for whatever vehicle you're in. You could be riding a motorcycle, you could be in a friend's truck, you could be a pedestrian on the street. If you have stacking uninsured motorist coverage, that applies to wherever you are. And what it means is that for each vehicle you have insured, for instance, if you have a car, a motorcycle, and a pickup truck, then you have 3 vehicles, and you stack the coverage on each vehicle. In other words, if each vehicle has $100,000 of uninsured motorist coverage, then you're entitled to $300,000 of uninsured motorist coverage.
Okay.
So, as we have discussed many, many times over the years, it's critical that you purchase stacking uninsured motorist coverage.
Right.
And as we have talked in the past, I am more than willing to answer questions from any of our listeners if they want to call me personally. And I'd be happy to go over their insurance coverages because it's critical to purchase stacking uninsured motorist coverage.
Nowadays a lot of us go online and we just type in some information and we get covered without really necessarily knowing what we're doing. I know that's something I've done in the past, so it'd be nice to have you looking over my shoulder. I'll give the phone number out for that here in just a moment, Bruce.
Well, I'm happy to do that.
Okay.
And I love your questions each week because it keeps me on my toes and makes me, keep up to date with the law.
And in this case, like you said, there's an important question that has to be answered, but it does look promising if that answer is stacking uninsured motorist coverage. Best to get a hold of a professional and do it quickly to find out.
That is correct, Todd.
Okay. Well, we'll have another one for you next week. I'm sure there's unfortunately no end to the trouble that arises, and you're always there with some encouraging words. We appreciate that, Bruce.
Well, I look forward to every Wednesday morning.
Okay, have a good week, and thanks again. You take care.
Okay, thanks, Todd.
Bye-bye. Ladies and gentlemen, that is Bruce L. Scheiner, attorney for the injured. Sounds a little bit more promising than when we first started out, doesn't it? Now, if you would like to submit a question for future consideration, you can do so on our website. Just type in Bruce in the keyword search box. That'll take you where you need to go. Now, if you would like to call because you have had an injury. Or maybe you want to follow up on what Bruce said about having him take a look at your policy, make sure that you've got the right kind of coverage. Here's the Port Charlotte office number, 941-743-7777. 941-743-7777. Be sure to tell them Todd Matthews sent you.